Welcome back to Good Day Columbia, everyone. The Supreme Court yesterday handing down rulings that some say could open the door for same-sex marriage to be allowed in all states. Here to sort out the legality of it is local attorney Joe McCulloch. Joe, thank you for being here.
Morning.
Morning. I know it's bright and early.
Boy.
But thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
All right, Joe, this is a landmark ruling here. Break it all down for us. Legally, what are we looking at now? That same-sex couples will have the same benefits as heterosexual couples, and that's only in states that allow same-sex marriage. What does this mean?
Well, that's nationally based on the DOMA decision, the Windsor case. And it simply means that under federal law, those benefits that are accorded people are now going to be accorded to same-sex marriage as well as heterosexual marriages. So it does not have an immediate effect on states that have laws banning same-sex marriage, like South Carolina.
Now, could this open the door for that? Because now it's going to seem like a back and forth. One ruling said this, one court said this, et cetera, back and forth.
Well, you know, it's the good news and the bad news in these two decisions, the DOMA decision, the Prop 8 decision. In the DOMA decision, the U.S. Supreme Court pronounced federal law prohibited not allowing these benefits, the federal benefits. The Prop 8 decision, the Supreme Court kind of circumvented the real issue of whether a state has the right to prohibit same-sex marriage.
Now, in that Prop 8 was held up in California, basically saying that marriage was between a man and a woman. And yesterday, the Supreme Court saying, you know, that's not in effect. What about insurance companies? You know, now with this happening, that may not allow coverage for same-sex couples. What would this do?
Well, if I could give you the perfect answer or the correct answer, I would be rich because my phone would ring off the hook. I think that people for the last 24 hours have been studying these opinions. The insurance lawyers are out there trying to figure out what's going to happen with in those states where same-sex marriage is still prohibited by law. And so I don't think there's any simple answer. We're going to watch an evolution of how to handle this in states with opposing laws.
And as an attorney, what does it mean for you? Because I know people may start calling you and say, you know, hey, I have this case, I have this issue. How difficult does it make, being that South Carolina doesn't allow same-sex marriage, but now federally things have changed in a sense?
Well, I mean, we're really only talking about
the federal
benefits at this point. But of course, the pundits, the lawyers involved in this case, Boies and Olson, the odd couple of lawyering, the Gore-Bush lawyers, they say this is the first step to expanding same-sex marriage prerogatives in the 50 states. We now have 12 states in the District of Columbia that permit same-sex marriage. So it'll be interesting to watch these cases be used as that evolutionary march.
How about the full faith clause? You know, we've learned this growing up in government, in high school, that, you know, each state kind of honors another state's provisions. For instance, my driver's license, South Carolina I could use it in California or, you know, Las Vegas or Nevada or so. Why isn't same-sex marriage interchangeable within states?
Well, there's no simple way to explain that, but the full faith and credit clause, our Supreme Court has typically applied it to judgments, not laws. Even in 1967, when the U.S. Supreme Court declared interracial marriage laws, or laws that prohibited interracial marriage, when they declared that to be unconstitutional, they didn't use the full faith and credit clause. They found a different justification. So full faith and credit may ultimately be the battleground, but it has not been thus far in this particular area and generally in the application.
Gotcha. And for the final question, what about those that oppose this? Is there anything that they can do, or is there any more appeals, or is this the final done deal with DOMA?
Well, I think DOMA's done. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that in the next congressional session and in South Carolina, I assume there will be some laws or bills introduced to change the law in South Carolina. Congress, I'm certain they'll be fighting in both the federal and state levels all over the country.
Now, the president says that the gay marriage ruling victory for U.S. democracy recognition should cross state lines, and that's what the president has said. So would that definitely open up the door then for other states to follow suit?
Well, it doesn't hurt the same-sex marriage movement to have the president of the United States pressing in that direction, but it's a divided Congress. It's a tough issue, and it's one in South Carolina that won't easily be decided.
All right, Joe McCulloch, thank you so much for being here this morning, sir. We appreciate it. We know you have court today. Thank you again.